Good morning. I'm in Barranco Garzon. It's it's one of those little canyons that turns off up to the right from the Rio Higueron as you're leaving Frigiliana, and it heads off up to Cuesta del Sordo, the Deaf Man's Ridge, and from there I'll cut across then to Cerro Feliz, and then on towards Pinto. I don't think I'll go up Pinto today. It's too bloody humid. But it's a lovely little canyon. Not many people come up here. There is an official route up onto that ridge from the GR249, but I prefer to take this way. It's one of my favourite ascents. I was shown this route years ago by a lad in Frigiliana, Chris. And Chris told me about this little canyon, and I thought, I'll give it a try. And ever since then, I've been using it. It's a good one. I've got more uphill to do. See you later. Bye. A lot of low cloud out there. Very humid today. But here we are on the trail, and we're coming up to Cuesta del Sordo, the Deaf Man's Ridge. This is where we intersect the GR249 between Nerja and Frigiliana. Sun's up. That's the way out to the caves, out to the Rio Chillar and then onto the caves. I can actually hear the Chillar from here. But we're going this way. The grass has been cut recently. It's a fire break. If you look up the hill there, you can see the haircut. This is to slow down the progress of fires. If they take place further down the hill, they get up to this spot. Doesn't stop them completely, but it'll certainly slow them down. Lovely vista point over onto Rio, onto El Fuerte there. This is a small little natural mirador here, just on this little rocky outcrop. You can see right down into the Rio Higaron. And over there you can just about make out the edge of the Molinas and the water walls. And if you look across over here, you've got Castillo Lizard, well, where the old castle used to be. And there's the water deposit, Lizard. And then across there, you got the straight line running all across. That's the aqueduct. And you can walk quite a bit of it, actually. That's the aqueduct, goes all the way up to close to the source of the Rio Higaron. And that water's always running. So there's always water in that aqueduct. And this is where Frigiliana gets its water source from. Anyway, we're going to head on down. Down this trail here. I like Cuesta del Sordo. You're on the ridge top. You've got good views. You can see all the way down towards Nerja, which is just there. And it sort of meanders up and down a little. Undulates, I think is the word. But you get great vistas. You're looking down there into the canyon that carries the Rio Chillar, which is actually closed to the public at the moment. Bit of a shame. Summertime walk up there is really good. But we're going to make our way up towards that hill over there, Cerro Felix. This route is well used because it's one of the GR routes, and you get a lot of folks trekking back and forward to the caves of Nerka from here using this trail. So it has a fair bit of footfall on it, so it's in reasonably good condition. Some of the other trails around here that I use, like Barranco Garzon that I came up, they're all mule routes. And of course the muleteers don't run anymore, so some of them fall into disrepair, they get overgrown. And there's no trail maintenance on trails in a natural park. A natural park is dedicated to the flora and the fauna of the mountains. And therefore, I'm not saying we're not allowed up here, but we're not encouraged. So there's very little signage for walkers and hikers, which of course is great for me as a walking guide. And but it also means that it's not overrun with a lot of hikers. There's national parks in this area down in Sierra Nevada and around, and they're national parks, and they're dedicated to recreational walking, and that's great. This one isn't. This is just really for the plants and the animals. And if you come up here, you come up here on your own bat. You come up here at your own risk. And I've learned the trails around here over the last 15 years. I know this little corner of the park quite well. I don't by any means claim to be an expert, that's for sure, because the park is quite big, 44,000 hectares. It stretches all the way over towards Alcaucin near Lake Vinuela. So it's an enormous area. And of course, half of it is in Granada, on the Alhama de Granada side. So it's a huge area. And those places I don't really know well at all. I've done some hiking and walking around there. But this corner over here in the east, the southeast corner, I know this corner fairly well. And of all the trails that there are marked in this area, this is the only one. This is the only one that's marked. GR 249, the red and white stripe. It's really good. You get to a junction. You've been walking along, let's say, from the caves. You come to a junction. This is a junction here. You have that signpost there. You come up here. There's another signpost. But there's a track going over this way, which is where I'm about to go now. But look, there's another signpost. It's got an X on it. That means don't go that way if you're following this trail. But if you are following the GR 249, you've got that marker right there. And that will take you off down into the Rio Higadon and onto Frigiliana. So it's really good signpostage. So you've got that one there, which is telling you don't go that way. You've got that one just there, where you will have come from, or you might be going that direction. And you've got that one right there. And you find that all the way along the GR 249, that whenever there's a junction or there's a possibility of a turn-off or a trail split, there'll be a signpost indicating which way you want to go. It's pretty cool, actually. You could nearly walk it without a map. But, yeah. I do 4 days of that trail every year. 2 or 3 times a year. I walk from Alcaucin back to Nerja over 4 days. I spend a couple of nights in the mountains up around Compita, or maybe even Canillas de Aceituno, then on into Frigiliana, spend the night there, and then finish up at the caves of Nerja. And it's a lovely 4-day hike, about 80 kilometers, I think. Spend the nights in nice little hotels and hostels. And we do an all-in package where we have all the transport. The baggages are transferred. The breakfast, lunch and evening meals are included. And all that for €510 per person, which includes a single room, which is nice for those who are travelling solo. And I do that at least twice a year. I particularly love that hike. I have one in October, at the end of October, and I have one at the end of November. Now, this is an old little trail that goes around Cerro Felix. And because I don't feel like trekking up to the top of it, I was only up there the other day. So there's a small little trail comes around the side of the hill, so you don't have to crest quite a steep little summit. A little bit overgrown, but still passable. I doubt it gets used very much, actually, because most people will want to go to the summit of Cerro Feliz. This saves me the steep last 100 meter climb, and the humidity is monster today. Very good. I see the light ahead of me. So, here we go. According to my video, it's about 15 minutes almost. That's how long it has taken me to walk Cuesta del Sordo on that lower section anyway. And here we are, Cerro Pinto, and up there, although with the sun shining it's hard to see it, maybe I can, anyway, up there is Cerro Feliz. And way off there in the distance, you got, let me see if I can focus it a little bit better. You got Nerja. You got the viaduct. And then over there on this side, you've got Punta Lara on the coast. Great. Thank you for joining me. Bye. So, nearly completed my circuit. I'm on the road back up. As you can see, I'd usually come up this way, over here, and then I would head up that way, come out it for 2 days. But there is a nice little trail along here that I don't use often. And I often think it would be a nice trail for as a tourist track, if it could be leveled up a bit. So I'll give you a look at it here. Here we go. It's an old water channel, or a sequia. And it's not in great condition, but it is reasonably flat. I always imagine it with a sort of a boardwalk, a wooden boardwalk, something like Caminito del Rey, or even a metal boardwalk, something like El Saltillo. So I'm going to keep my video on for the duration. We've walked from the start now at the little road down from Virtudes. And as you can see, we're up above the Rio Higadon, a really nice vista point. The trail is pretty good, a bit overgrown in places, but it's really quite nice. There's the town up there. That's what we call the new town, let's say. Up there we have the football field, outdoor pitch. This old acequia has been filled in with dirt. I don't know if there's a pipe in it. I suspect there is under here. Because look at here. There's an outlet. So there probably is water. There's a pipe. There's a pipe. So there's probably water running through it. But rather than having it exposed and open to the elements, it's been piped and then filled in with dirt. You can walk along it quite nicely with lovely vistas and views down below. And I thought this would actually be a really nice tourist trail. It was fixed up a bit. A couple of rock falls, bit of sliding here, as you can see. It's come away a bit, but nothing that couldn't be fixed up. Got to watch out for the adarves. Stick a hole right through you. It's a bit rocky, this particular video, because I have a gimbal, a mechanism that a friend of mine, Christy bought it back in the COVID days for me, and I use it every now and then, but the battery ran out. I was using it earlier on, and it kind of takes the jumpy jerkiness out of the videos when you're walking, but unfortunately the battery ran out. So this one is handheld and therefore a little bit more jumpy. My apologies for that. There you go, Rio Higadon down below, still in the shade. Dry as a bone. It's been as dry for years now. When I came here 15 years ago, that was a running river for the first 3 years I lived here. Oh, underneath the branch. But the drought has dried it up, and the water no longer sits on the surface. I dare say there is a water table below the surface that still has moisture in it, but it no longer sits. Even if it rains now, it doesn't sit on the surface for more than a couple of hours. You'd need probably 2 or 3 weeks of continuous rain to fill up the water table again, so that the river water would sit on the surface, but we don't seem to be getting any sign of that. Who knows, maybe this winter. So yeah, this is a lovely little trail. A bit rough underfoot, a little bit overgrown here and there. Exposed, obviously, as you can see. You know, it's exposed, so you want to head for heights if you're walking along here. You don't get too jittery, because it is quite a drop off the sides. Let's just say the consequences of a fall could be quite difficult. And then up around here you got the high cliffs looking up towards the town built on top of the ridge. Football field over there. It's really a beautiful walk. I think it would be a fantastic tourist attraction if it were fixed up and people were able to walk down and along the Higaron and then back up into the town. We know these infrastructures work as far as attracting tourism is concerned. They proved it in Caniles de Aceituno when they built El Saltillo, and they proved it in El Chorro when they built Caminito del Rey. Both features have become big attractions for active outdoor tourists. There is talk now that the Rio Chillar will become a tourist attraction in the same way as the Caminito del Rey and the El Saltillo is. It will be managed and maintained. It has been closed off for a couple of years. It is the drinking water, after all, for Nerja. So I suppose thousands of feet traipsing through wasn't too good for that. Look at this. It's like a little house, a little shed, a tent. Somebody's orchard here. They look like nisperos, I think. Yeah. Some of them are still on the tree. They're quite withered. That one is quite dry. Could do with a bit of water. And on we go. Couple of little slides. You can see where there's been a loose stone has come down. Old pipe work, kind of abandoned. Duck down under the branch. But still all very passable. Even in this condition, it's still all very passable. And quite nice vistas. Yeah, really lovely. If I remember correctly, there's a bit of a big step here, so what I'll do is I'll step up here, where it's not so bad, onto this bit, and then I'll be in the right spot, because the step up there, oh yeah, you can see it up here, it's a little bit higher. So you're walking along here, it's quite nice, it's good and wide, not quite a metre, but still wide enough. Little rocky outcrop here, so you got to duck down a little bit. That's cool. And past you go. Yeah, it would be a lovely walk if it had a nice even surface and a bit of a railings along the edge, and then maybe a few points for sitting and looking. Having a little picnic or something. Could be a big attraction. Now, here is where I can take an exit. Somewhere along here anyway. Okay, gotta jump down here, get under this tree. This will continue on and around the corner and you can come up at another spot, but there is actually a small little trail here that will bring me up, if I can find it, of course. I think I've walked past it actually. I think this is it here, where this little pipe is. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, I've already walked past it. Yeah, I should have come up over there where the tree is. And that takes you up onto this spot here. Yeah. Not well used, but enough to get you up and around. Very small little trail, this bit. There we go. Steps. This is the spot where the cats maybe get fed. And then we're back in Frigiliana. Lovely. How long did that take me? 12.5 minutes. It's not bad. It would be a lovely trail if it were cleaned up and made a bit safer. Anyway, time for breakfast. I live just up there between those two blocks. So time to go home, cup of tea, cold shower. Bye.